So thirsty for your love, I can't hide it.
It's got everything you need. Just go and chill and, you know, be caffeinated most of the day.
I used to singing, baby. Oh, come around, why don't you come around? Why don't you come around? Why don't you
good if you know me.
come around? Why don't you come around? Why don't you sing about a melody? Oh, come around, why don't you come around? Why don't you come around? Why don't you
good if you know me.
come around? Why don't you come around? Why don't you anything you want to sing about? Just sing it all out now, sing it all out. Selektah. Let the world know what life's all about. Come around, why don't you come around? Why don't you come around?
All right, slowly but surely knocking through our obligations, but better now than never, right? Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom, and welcome to the Galtopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the pseudo snort report. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with part 2 of the Vest celebration, aka the Great Con Job, aka 20k, and I'm still not doing okay. Brought to us by DSPGaming. Let's see. As you guys know, part 1 is already up, going over what the updates on Phil's current situation, as well as what his future plans were for his streams. All bullshit, by the way. But this second and last part, because we're not going to go over the other ones, because I just don't care to do so, is about his gaming schedule update for the rest of 2020. This was published on July 24th of 2020, our current year of gout. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't really, I wouldn't have too many high expectations on what his game schedule is going to be from here on out. At the time that I'm recording this, there's only like 3 more months left in the fucking year and shit. It doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, no, actually, that's wrong. There's actually 4 months. There's 4 months left in the rest of the year. There's really nothing in particular that's going to come about. To be honest, he's only really throwing this out there as lore, so he has something to do, and more importantly, so he can try to keep the Vest streak going. End of story. There's really nothing else to it but that. But let's hear what he has to say, what he's going to play, what his thoughts are on certain shit. Maybe he's gotten over his Last of Us 2 boner. Maybe he hasn't. I don't know. But we'll find out either which way. Ladies and gentlemen, I won't hold you up. Let's go ahead and get into the situation. See you guys in a second.
Sing about a melody. Oh, come around. Why don't you come around? Why don't you come around? Why don't you come around? Come around. Why don't you come around? Why don't you sing about a melody? Sing it all out now. Sing it all.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Vest Fest 3, or the 200 Vest Streak celebration. So far, I told you about some personal stuff going on behind the scenes. We talked about improving the streams in the future. You guys gave me some feedback to that regard, which I really appreciate. And we had a live DSP Tries It. Now we're heading into the third segment, which is going to be the games schedule update for the rest of 2020. This year, everything got thrown into upheaval because of
Okay, we can shut him up because it's not really that important. At least what he's saying at the moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the Vest Celebration 3.0, because it sounds better when I say it. Part 2, gaming schedule update for the rest of 2020. Yet again, this came out on July 24th of 2020, our current year of gout. All right, let's hear the pig squeal.
Pandemic. Many games got delayed. It was uncertain what was going to happen. Would things reopen, right? Now we're kind of getting an idea that even if things are kind of partially closed, we still will be some things that will be open, at least in some capacity. And it seems in game development now, the cycle has kind of resumed. Not for movies and stuff, for that, everything's shut. Like video game development, it seems like things have started or picked up again, and the things that were scheduled for the
Excuse me. Let's be honest for a minute. Excuse me. The only thing that he really gave a shit about reopening back up was food places. Basically. That was the only thing he really gave a shit about when the whole pandemic thing was happening. And the few times, and then when he was going to the grocery store, that he could get his bottled water, his El Cheapo bottled water, his words, not mine. And then he eventually gave up on that, and now he drinks toilet water out of his sippy cup. That was it. That's all he ever really cared about, is just having fast food places open. And then that's when he started this trend in doing Grubhub and DoorDash and all those different things. And Uber Eats and so on and so forth. Which I would assume, now that he's doing that, he's probably won't even go back to going out and getting regular food like that anymore. He'll just order everything in. It'll be easier for him. So keep that in mind.
The year are finally getting release dates. So what I'd like to do is I would like to sit down here with all of you and go through the game's schedule for the rest of the year. Let you know exactly what I think about the games here that I'm interested in. Let you know how other things are going to kind of wedge into here. All right, and right now, boy, oh man. Some months right now look insanely packed, while other months are empty. We'll talk about this. A couple quick shout-outs. Fly Eagles Fly, that 100-bit cheer. We were just talking about McDonald's on the break, and he says that in Europe, it's not high-end. It's fine for quickness, but definitely not high-end food.
Jesus Christ. As it pertains to Fly Eagles Fly, whoever they are, I should say, has almost become iconic at this point. Almost mythical in a lot of ways. Being that if you go back to the emergency stream that Phil did back in 2017 when he aired out all of Pandalee or Leanna's information about her medical history and so on and so forth, Fly Eagles Fly was one of the people who had given either a tip or a cheer around that time, and it's one of the things that just always takes me back. And if you guys have seen the El Crimson King's rendition of it and whatnot, you see Fly Eagles Fly get announced through the little microphone or announcement system, I should say, in the hospital. So it's one of those things that always sticks out to me. Yes, it's the little things. It legit is when it comes to DSP lore. To be honest with you, it's the little things that you remember, and it's the little things that like mean the most. But let's go ahead and put the sentimental stuff to the side for a minute.
There. Maybe different places of Europe are different. Who knows, right? Shukow O or Shukow 0 has resubscribed for 13 months. And he says, 13! Thank you, Shukow, for 13 months of support. I appreciate that. Alice Telemon cheered. He says, we don't have Wendy's, Popeyes, and all those other things at Burger King, McDonald's, and KFC over here where I am. Interesting. Yeah, and it's probably different depending on where you are, right? Okay. Let us continue. Let's do it. The game schedule. So, ladies and gentlemen, today is the 24th of July. What I'm going to do is go through the game schedule for the next few months, and let's talk about the games that are coming out. First of all, right now, people are voting on upcoming viewers' choice events for my streams. 2 games will be selected as a result of those viewers' choice polling, and those 2 games will be played as playthroughs starting in August. You may be saying, when in August? Well, I'm actually going to complete the poll next weekend. So by the end of July, we will definitely know what games are going to be played as the viewers' choice playthroughs. Now, here's the thing. I'm already doing a viewers' choice playthrough, and it's Fire Emblem Three Houses. But we all knew going into that playthrough, that game is incredibly long. And let's face it, it is for a niche audience. It's not for a mainstream viewing audience. We knew that going in, being a JRPG and everything. I'm going to continue to play that over the course of the year.
That's not actually the problem. His problem is he's sitting here relying on only certain characters. He's not leveling them up. Well, he is leveling them up, but I should say he's not swapping out their skills. He has certain powerful skills that he's not using properly, or he doesn't even know that he has. He's a complete and total fucking mess. If any of you guys are watching Dark Dave Mirrors or LSB, LSB especially because he loves that game, so he's going to give you a lot of in-depth to it. LSB will point out the fucking flaws in Phil's shit. So one of the reasons why it's taking Phil so goddamn long is because the idiot doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. I don't know how many hours he's drowned into Fire Emblem, but it's a lot. It's a whole lot not to know a goddamn thing. It's embarrassing. It's legit embarrassing. So don't sit there and blame it on, oh, it's a JRPG. Don't blame it on it's for a niche audience. If you legit have no interest in playing a game because you have no interest in learning that game, then just don't play it. Veto it like you try to veto everything else. Pure and simple. He's only wasting his own time. And that's why he keeps putting the game off more and more and more. But what are you going to do? Semantics.
As long as time permits, at least once a week, and I'm hoping to finish it by the end of 2020. I'm not exaggerating there. The game is that long. At this point, I think I want to say I'm 30 hours into it, but I'm being told I've probably got at the least another 30 hours. So
30 hours. Now, I remember someone telling me it was like a 40-hour game, maybe more, maybe less. He's already 30 in and hasn't figured out jack shit yet, and he's still got another 30 to go. And then if you look at the face right there, that's a great screenshot. That yet again, Dark Side Phil in his true nature. By the way, what he really looks like outside of clown mode. It's like John Wayne Gacy, just without any real. Without any real gumption, I guess. To be honest, no one thought John Wayne Gacy could kill anybody either. Look at Phil. He's theoretically killing a whole group of people off slowly but surely, and none of them are even smart enough to realize it. But then again, they're killing him too. So, tit for tat.
Potentially take me till the end of this year to beat it at this rate. So we'll see. But that playthrough will continue.
Of killing each other in Minecraft, of course, is what I meant.
The viewer's choice playthroughs will start in August. When? We'll talk about that in a second. Let's go through the game schedule. So we've got the final game in July that I'm interested in playing is the Destroy All Humans remake. They've modernized the game for modern consoles. I've never played Destroy All Humans before, and I'm very interested in playing it because it has a cult following, and people have said they really felt that was a game franchise that, number one, would challenge me, but number two, would also be very entertaining for everyone. Okay. That being said,
so you're gonna play it because you want to try to draw more people in. Because if he didn't play it before now, there's a reason. Excuse me. If he didn't play it before now, there was a reason why he didn't. So because it has a cult following, because it has a very hardcore following, it has a dedicated fan base, he wants to see if he can poach some of those people. Which is the same reason why he plays JRPGs. It's the reason why he plays most games. He's trying to capitalize off people's interests or nostalgia, to be honest. He's always trying to draw more people in. And is failing at it miserably. And has been for years.
Comes out on the 28th of July. That's this coming Tuesday. Now here is my dilemma. I was supposed to be playing Ghost of Tsushima and Paper Mario the Origami King non-stop, pretty much. From last Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Then on Wednesday, I was probably going to play Ghost of Tsushima, and I was going to resume Deadly Premonition 2. And then this whole week was going to be a focus on Ghost of Tsushima, balanced with other stuff at night like Paper Mario, Deadly Premonition, and some Fire Emblem. That's not what happened. We all know what happened. Sadly, a sociopath decided to completely fabricate a situation where he lied to Twitch and said that I stole my subscriber badges from a commissioned artist in 2015. Like somehow there was art on the internet in 2015 and I stole it and started using it without permission on my channel in 2017. And it took 3.5 years for this artist to find out and that they were trying to claim the artwork back and give me DMCA claim. The whole thing was horseshit, okay? But I lost a lot of streaming time because of it. Then the motherfucker DDoS attacked me for a day. So I couldn't consistently stream another day. So I lost about 3 days of progress. Put me back a lot.
Now keep in mind though, ladies and gentlemen, this is an individual who said that streaming, well, begging really, but streaming is the most consistent job that he's ever had in his life. But yet, someone who's willing to put a little more than average time into trolling was able to get him knocked offline, or at least knocked off the platform, I should say, for a few days and have him knocked offline for a little while as well. Imagine that. It's almost as if he doesn't know what stable means.
That's, 12 hours of Ghost of Tsushima, potentially 6 hours of Mario, and that's disappointing that happened. Now the good news is, seems to be cleared up, got those strikes reversed. got a new IP address. I should be smooth moving for now on. I don't foresee anything else in that regards happening. Knock on wood. But I am nervous that what's going to happen now is this whole thing's going to set me back on my schedule. Because originally I was going to play Destroy All Humans. My goal was that I was going to finish Deadly Premonition 2 and get really, really far, either in Mario or Ghost of Tsushima or both, by the time that Destroy All Humans came out. So that way now it's not like, okay, Phil's playing 3-4 games at once and it's too hard to follow and he doesn't get to play them enough. Instead it would be, okay, I finished one, the other one's near the end, so it's okay to pick up a new playthrough.
But isn't he
now,
usually playing 2 or 3 games at any given time throughout the year? Well, 3 or 4, really, to be honest. So this isn't anything new. And a lot of the games that he plays, the reason why they lose interest, to be honest, is because he's not good at playing multiple games at one time or another. He forgets. He'll literally take a couple days off of a game, come back, can't remember the control scheme, can't remember where he's at, can't remember anything. He'll go through it for the first hour, mentally struggling to try to figure out what's what, and then have to rely on hoof holding from the chat to kind of get him back in balance, if you will. As if anything about Phil Burnell is balanced. So, what is he talking about? He spent years doing this. Whatever.
That is not the case. It sucks. Okay, it really does suck. So that being said, Destroy All Humans, do I want to play it? Yes, I am super interested. People have asked me for years to check it out, the franchise. Now would be a ample time to check it out because it's been remade, alright? But I cannot, in good faith and good intention, start playing this game when I'm already juggling 3 other major playthroughs. So what the fuck
are you talking about good faith and good intentions when one of the reasons why, apparently, he put off playing Destroy All Humans is because he sat around and waited for years for the remake. Which is Phil's a stickler for that shit too. He does that a lot. That's the only reason why they got Lion King, Aladdin, and SpongeBob. That's the only reason why he decided to play any of those games is because of the fact he was waiting for the remakes to come out. Or the remasters. So he put that off on purpose. Just throwing it out there.
I'm going to hold off on playing it as a new release. And I'm going to wait. Because if you guys aren't aware, August is one of, if not the deadest month for releases. Okay? There's a few releases in the month that I am interested in, but it's so skimpy on releases that I'm probably going to end up having lots of time during that month to do things like, oh, I didn't play Destroy All Humans, let's do it. Oh, it's time for Viewer's Choice, let's do those playthroughs. You see what I mean? So that's what I'm thinking.
But didn't you just say that you wouldn't be able to start a new playthrough in good faith, being that you have all these other games that you still have to play? Deadly Premonitions, Mario Origami King, Ghost of Tsushima, or Tsushima? I think it's Tsushima. And then you still have, then he still has Fire Emblem in the wakes. Like, it's so dead, and you're so behind because of your trolling situation, but August is so skimpy. So now you have more than enough time to basically catch back up, and yet you're still trying to pile more on your plate. After saying you wouldn't do it. With good faith. And in good intentions. Wow.
Only game left in July, Destroy All Humans remake. I am doing it, but I'm doing it in August when we have time. The first release in August that I'm even interested in, it's called Deliver Us to the Moon. And it's supposed to be a game where you're like a moonwalker. You're actually someone walking on the moon, doing quests and surviving. And apparently there's going to be like some kind of a sci-fi horror element to it where maybe there's like creatures on the moon trying to get you or something. It's not clear-cut what it is. I was looking into it and it looked interesting to me, but at the same time, I'm nervous. It might just be a walking simulator, boring game.
I don't know if it's going to be boring, but it damn sure sounds like a walking simulator, which is another game genre that Phil's a stickler for.
Interesting. Something different, to say the least, okay?
Which is funny because this man preaches about something different, but yet he won't change anything different in his own life. He'll play different games so he can kind of live vicariously through the game, but he won't do anything or make the changes in his own life so it can be different. Wow. Just keeps doing the same mundane shit over and over and over again.
Okay? On August 21st, we got the Samurai Jack video game. Apparently, from what I'm to understand, the Samurai Jack video game is actually a direct plotline continuation from where the series ended. I guess the series ended and didn't necessarily have a concrete resolution. And apparently this game is supposed to be like the ending to the series. Which is crazy because Samurai Jack hasn't aired on TV in a while, right? Or am I wrong? Did it come back at one point? But apparently this is supposed to like actually be the game being the narrative end. So I'm interested in it, but the thing is, I never really watched Samurai Jack that much. So for me, like,
too bad you missed out. It was actually a pretty good series. I mean, it had its dead spots like anything else, but overall, it was a pretty good series. And didn't you say you got back issues and shit? So why are we doing that? Like, what's the point of this pose? All right then.
Interested in the game, but I don't know if I'm going to understand it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I'm going to know what's actually going on.
Oh, well, why don't you treat it like SpongeBob and spend the next 3 months with your wife watching old seasons, not even episodes, watching old seasons of SpongeBob so you can catch up on the jokes and memes, and then you can go ahead and play. Well, why don't we just do that, Phil?
On the show, I might end up being very confused, and not get it, even if the gameplay is good. So I'm kind of on the fence about it.
So you're not willing to play a game because you know nothing about the backstory and or the lore of the game. But don't you play most brand new games that come out with little to no problem? So what's the difference? Oh, because it's already established and you think because people in your fan base will know certain things, you don't want to play it because you're afraid they might make you feel stupid because you don't know what's going on? But don't you look stupid every day anyway? I mean, what's the point? Like, play the game to play the game. Don't sit there and try to add all this extra backstory to make yourself seem like you're more informed than you really are. On top of that, we all know you're going to watch someone else play it on your off time anyway, and then that's how he breezes past most parts of games. He just watches other people on his off time. He's admitted to doing that with Cat. So with that being said, like, you can get caught up watching somebody else's playthrough. So you can go ahead and skip that bullshit too. Yet again, a very disgusting tactic that Phil does, but like, it's not too much of a surprise. He's probably been doing it since like 2018. He's probably been doing it before that, but certainly since 2018. It's another one of his pathetic DSP isms to try to destroy this is how you don't play, and yet continues to fail. Imagine that. How the fuck do you fail at cheating? If you think about it, how is that a thing? Oh well.
Oh, Lakutas of the Pork says a final season actually did air like 4 years ago. See, there you go. Interesting. So I don't know if I should play it or not. I'm interested in it, but I don't know if I should play it or not. That's the 21st of August. The only other game in August that I'm really interested in, it's the game Tell Me Why. This is the game that was announced yesterday at the Xbox Game Showcase. It's the new game from Don't Nod, the makers of Life is Strange, and admittedly, it looks exactly like Life is Strange, only with a different plot. The first episode of it comes out on the 27th, okay? Knowing those games, it's probably only enough for like one stream. It's probably going to be like 4 hours.
So we picked 3 games out of the whole month of August, or at least 3 games that he's chosen to play, I should say. And he says that the month is skimpy. Now keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this is the same idiot in like 2019 that legit was skipped entire months of games. Just literally leapfrogged over entire months of games. Couldn't find not even one game to play. Just skipped entire months. There was a bunch of great games that were coming out. Completely skipped them. Actually, I think wasn't Fire Emblem Houses one of them? I'm not sure if that came out earlier this year or not. Now I think about it. Early this year or late last year. I know when this initially came out, he skipped it. He didn't play it. He didn't play it right away. Even though he had an audience who wanted to see him play it. But what are you going to do?
Something. If that. So.
And then instead of actually playing games that are new and digging in his ear, apparently, he would rather just play stuff it's actually just familiar to him. And Samurai Jack is a cartoon that he may or may not have seen an episode or 2 of on Cartoon Network or wherever. So he's thinking about playing that, but then he doesn't know if he wants to play that because he doesn't know anything about the overall show's plot. Like, that should stop you from playing the game itself. Oh, I'm not going to understand anything. So what? Just play the game for what it is then. Don't try to make more out of it than what it is. We saw you do that dumb shit with SpongeBob. It sounds stupid then. It sounds even worse now.
Outside of that, is there other stuff in August? Sure, yeah, there's like Madden and shit like that, but pretty much nothing. All right? So what I'm thinking for the month of August is as follows. We're going to continue with Ghost of Tsushima. We're going to continue with Paper Mario. We're going to continue with Deadly Premonition 2 if I haven't beaten it yet. We're going to then pick up Destroy All Humans. And that'll be maybe the balance between those games would be the first 2 weeks of the month. Maybe I'll actually do some chill streams again at late night. Okay, I'm not sure. So I'm curious about, how I'm going to balance that. Around the middle of the month, I may pick up like Samurai Jack and stuff like that. But this would be the ideal time for the viewer's choice playthroughs. Because if the polling ends in a week, all right, that's good. Now I have time to find the game, get the games, and then once I start wrapping up the new releases, now we can have these viewers' choice playthroughs come in to take the place of the games I'm finishing and get us through the middle to late August, you see? That's kind of what I'm thinking, for sure. So that's really August. I know that kind of feels empty. I agree with you. It is. Like, the month, there's nothing going on. It seems like August was a month where there wasn't anything coming out anyway. And I think a lot of these game developers decided to push their games to September. As I'm about to tell you, September is actually jam-packed full of content in games. So, I think July will still be alright. I don't know if it'll necessarily... excuse me, not July. I think August will still be alright. But I don't know if August is going to be an insanely great, new release month. Probably not. There is another game in August. It's called Wasteland 3. I don't exactly know what it is because I never played a Wasteland game before. So if you guys were interested in maybe telling me about the game or seeing if, see me play, I'd be open to the possibility. But I don't really understand it. I don't know if it's going to be something that my viewership is really going to enjoy. So in August, I would
Phil
say...
cares or understands anything that his viewership wants. Like, why are we dwelling on August? Just move on to September.
Finish up all these major new releases I'm doing now, which could take 1 to 2 weeks. Destroy All Humans remake will be a big feature. Maybe the return of late night chill streams, and then around middle of the month ish, maybe check out Deliver Us the Moon. Maybe check out the Samurai Jack game. By the end of the month, play it by ear, see how things are going, but introduce the viewer's choice playthroughs. And then by the end of the month, if I want to do a game like this Wasteland 3 or whatever, it's a maybe. And I'll definitely do that one episode of Tell Me Why, and that'll be like the month for me. You know what I mean? Oh, that's right. I forgot to write it down, and that's my fault. I swear I wrote it down, though. Oh, no, I did. That's not in August. Yeah, that's why. Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. All right, a few shout-outs, and then we're going to go into September. So, Alice Telemon Cheers says, do you have a Carl's Jr. in Seattle? I had that in Las Vegas. Eat like you mean it. No. Not in Seattle. There is one that's about 45 minutes away from me, and when I first moved out here, I drove to it because I wanted to try it, and it was a huge disappointment because the food was terrible, it was wrong, it was cold, the manager wasn't even there, it was a bunch of kids cooking. I would never go out of my way to go to that thing again. If they ever opened a Carl's Jr. closer to me, I would, but there's none around here, okay? Ladies Man Cheers says, what is the other thing that you're going to reveal? Oh, I'm not going to tell you. Like I said, if we double the tips goal, there's a special reveal I'm going to do on stream. But I'm not going to tell you spoiling. What's the point of having a special reveal for a special reward instead of putting on the Gunner glasses, which you guys...
It's not a reward, it's a paywall. Like call it what it is.
I'm going to do something new and fresh and special if we hit $200 tips goal. But I'm not going to just tell you what it is. What's the point of that? It's not very special then, is it? Something just went right in my eyeball. What the hell?
I mean, maybe if you wash your fucking hooves and shit before you dig it into your eye, maybe you wouldn't have this type of problem. Or at least wash your goddamn face. Jesus.
Something went in my eye. I don't know what it is. It's not a bug or anything. It's not moving, but it's annoying. Maybe a chunk of sand or something. Okay, continuing on. Ladies Man Cheered, he says, I think the DMCA claim and DDoS attack has a silver lining. It showed everyone that you cannot be canceled and showed you the amount of true fans. Right, if anything. You know, I'll be honest. Back in the day, when that kind of stuff happened, I got very nervous. I was like, oh my god, am I going to get kicked off of YouTube with these false DMCA claims? This is the end of everything. For me, was it annoying? Did it delay me from having fun streams with you guys? Yes. Did it really wreck me? No. You guys rallied, you supported me regardless, and if
That's
anything,
not
the
true. What it did is it actually, first off, it proved that he's vulnerable in a way that he wasn't expecting. Two, there is nobody to watch Phil Burnell's ass anymore. He's not a priority. He's not important. Three, it also showed that Twitch itself has been restructuring, and it's been doing business differently than it was doing when Phil was able to get Tevin and those other two fellas deplatformed a few years back. That's what it ended up doing. What happened was apparently his gilded glass house is not really that gilded, and it's not even a glass house, it's more of a shack. And all the walls are slowly but surely crumbling around him. He's no different really from anybody else. He is completely and totally vulnerable. And even the people that he could run to and bitch and complain or whatever, they don't care. They don't have time to care anymore. Whoever it was that was watching Phil Burnell's ass, former fan, somebody who sympathized with him, whoever, whatever, they're gone. And there isn't, and whoever it is that comes in next, if he can even get anybody to come in and take that position, whoever it is that's going to come in next is not going to give any fucks. He's just another number, as he should have been. So, whatever.
streak continued, which is crazy. I wasn't even playing games, and the Vest streak continued, which shows the amount of support you give me regardless of what's going on. And it showed that I have options. I don't, if God forbid,
you don't have an option to be, well, he does have an option. Sorry, just YouTube. That's it. He just comes back to YouTube. So he doesn't have, which is something that he's always had anyway, innately. So he doesn't have any other choices because he can't go anywhere else. Nowhere else he's going to go is going to give him troll protection. He can't even get troll protection here on YouTube. If he goes to Facebook Gaming, they don't have to offer him partnership or anything. I understand how people make the argument that they could. And by, oh, well, he has 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, or he has over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. And then he has, 80,000, 90,000 followers on Twitch. Okay, fair enough. Now go and look at his view count. If he's barely able to pull 2 or 3 or even 4,000 views per video, they don't have to fucking give that fake, not even fake, that invisible number, which is his sub count, any validity. It's not worth it, to be honest, and not for what he would ask for off the rip. They don't have to offer him that. He's not a producer. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's not going to be able to produce. Dude, they could watch him on stream for a month and find that out. So it is what it is. Any place that picks him up outside of YouTube will have him in a test period to see how he does. They're going to find out that, oh, he's a failure and he basically begs to live, and they don't have to offer him partnership. They don't have to offer him anything. They're not really obligated to give him a platform, but that's all they'll end up really giving him is a platform. They won't offer him anything else, and he knows that. He knows that. His only choices are Twitch and YouTube. That's it. And those aren't very good choices for him, because now he has no protection. No one cares. Really don't. He's just another bitch out here, and eventually he gonna piss someone off and he gonna get fucked. End of story. That's basically his end all be all. No need to sugarcoat it.
Happens horrifically here, and I can't stream on Twitch. There's other things I can do and other places I can go. It's not like when I was on YouTube, and if I get kicked off YouTube, oh my god, that was my whole livelihood, there's nothing else to do. It's not like that at all. At all. So, you're right. I kind of agree with you, Alice Telemon. Even though this last weekend put me back significantly with my game playthroughs and releases, it showed a layer of positivity there that I'm not going nowhere. It doesn't matter how many people mess with me, screw with me, or try to basically ruin my life. It doesn't matter. I'm going to persevere through it. That's the whole point, right?
No one's really trying to ruin your life. You're doing a good job of doing that. You're doing a good job of that on your own. Everybody's just sitting back and laughing at you, which you think it's making it even worse because it's drawing more attention to it. Then again, if you stop making bad decisions, then there'd be nothing to theoretically laugh at. The problem is, though, is that since you're so dependent on the troll dollar and the pennies from your sympathizers, is the reason why you're at where you're at. You've kind of built this perpetual. You've constructed and built this detractor hell for yourself, and you can't escape, which is hilarious to say the very least. And this will be the end of you at the end of the day. Sad, certainly very pathetic, but certainly very true. Womp womp.
Okay, Persian Conversion has subscribed at tier 2 for 5 months. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to Persian Conversion, because that means he can now use the new blue vest emote that I just put into the stream chat. Tier 2 subs now get access to a blue vest emote, and tier 3 subs get access to a platinum vest emote. Now I wonder, will you guys want a light, slim, and svelte gray vest emote? Because I do have the capability of adding that as well. Just saying. Because now the gray vest will now be a part of the streams. Okay. Alright, Somricito, I apologize, I have no idea how to pronounce this name. Timmy $5 says, I hope all is well. If you come into more income or better finances, you have more time to do other things, would you consider going back to reviewing games? They were always very entertaining and well put together, or maybe other projects. I am not going to go back to edited content. I'm just going to make that very clear to everybody. No. I'm not going to go back to being someone who sits in front of a computer for hours on end, edits videos together, and releases them exclusively for YouTube. Those days are over. There's no point. YouTube
he wasn't very good at it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And he's a quitter, so he would have given up on it anyway, as he did the first time. So what would be the point?
Not a place. Like, my YouTube channel is archives for my streams. My focus is my streams. I'm going to focus on things that are going to be fun for you guys, both profitable for my business, but also make sense for the long term. My streams are where it's at. YouTube is the past. YouTube is played out. There's very few people who can even make a living doing YouTube without doing tons of sponsorships and shit. And me taking
I don't even know why he keeps lying to himself about that, which only perpetuates his failure. He thinks that there are people who cannot make money on YouTube without sponsorships or without extra tie-ins, which is completely and totally false. On top of that, this idiot can't even bring sponsorship in. He can't get real endorsements, paid endorsements, at least as far as we know, on Twitch, which is kind of the majority of the income that Twitch streamers bring in, outside of tips, subs, and donations. Or, unless they actually have an actual fucking contract with Twitch, he don't. The only contract that he has with Twitch restricts him from actually streaming anywhere else. That's it. He basically agreed to be Twitch's bitch. Everybody else, well, everybody else who's successful, I should say, have a legit contract, meaning that they actually get a steady pay from Twitch each and every month on top of cheers, subs, and tips. And then they have their sponsorships and everything on top of that. Phil don't have any of those things. He's no different than someone else who comes on Twitch day one. He legit isn't. The only thing he did was sign his rights. All he's done is sign his rights away from streaming on another platform for a set amount of time. That's all he has. That's it. And if he gets into some real trouble, he gets to call someone. The thing is that also came out about that whole Superhound situation is that if you're big enough on Twitch and not partnered, you can still reach out to people and they will help you. It is, I mean, don't get me wrong, you're not going to get Alinity or Amaran help or anything like that, but there is someone that will help you. That's a type of level of priority that Phil supposedly has now and he can't even get. He's been dealing with automated systems for the majority of his issues when it came to the DMCAs and everything. There was less than a handful of times he talked to a real person. Just something to think about.
From the streams, which are the best thing I'm doing, to work on YouTube videos is out of the question. It's not.
But yeah, him shitting on YouTube, though, yet again, only perpetuates his failure. And the look on his face, what we like to call the dark Geppetto face, because that's what it's called. That's the real Phil. That's the real Phil Burnell. That's the one who's resentful of everybody around him. He's resentful of people's money, their success, their happiness, their peace of mind, all things that he don't have. all things that he doesn't have. So he hates everybody for it. That's where the real King of Hate moniker comes from. That's what it really means. He just hates everybody else. Everybody else have something in their life that makes it worthwhile, but Phil Burnell doesn't. He never really did, to be honest. Which is kind of sad, because you would think, Jesus Christ, if you don't have anything in your own life to live for, at least you got your family and whatever. But Phil don't even give a shit about them either. They're only a means to an end. Same thing with his friends. They were only a means to an end. Even with John at the very end, he was only good for the content. That was it. You know what I mean? That's all Phil really wanted from him when he moved to Connecticut, or when he moved from Connecticut to Washington. He just wanted John for the content. Goes to show how much that friendship may or may not have been worth. It's just what he is. It's what he does. That's what it truly means to be the King of Hate. So if you guys ever wanted to know what the real King of Hate looks like, that's that right there. End of story. And the fact that he said, I'm the exception to the rules. I'm the lucky one who was able to succeed on YouTube. What was his success worth? One with any level of practicality would say not much.
Okay. If you're talking, will I just review games after I beat them? That's a possibility. I just reviewed The Last of Us Part 2 because it was a controversial game and I felt people really wanted to hear my review. They told me so during the course of the entire playthrough.
No.
Maybe
people have been asking him to review videos for a long time. I don't want to do edited content. Fine. Give us like a 30-minute wrap up basically at the end of your streams. Or at the last the last part of your stream for that, the last part of that playthrough. Sure, I can do that. Did it for a little while, and a little while meaning only a couple of games, and then said, oh, well, I gave you guys what my final thoughts were throughout the entire last part of this game anyway. I don't see a need to sit here for 20 minutes and record myself and upload it as a separate video. Last of Us 2 was yet again something that he ain't sat there and bitched and complained about and went full Karen about, right? And he was trying to capitalize off it because it was a hot topic on Twitter. It was a hot topic on YouTube. And so, yet again, he threw it out there because it was getting views. You want to know why that was? Because it was the only game that he had played, at least in the last couple months, that legit was getting views. Like when his part 1 had 9,000 views or whatever, that's when he was like, okay, I'm going to milk this. I'm going to have all this false complaints, all this false outrage throughout the playthrough to keep people basically locked in. And he did it through the whole way through. He didn't do it because people asked him for a fucking review. He did it because it was a quick cash grab. And then on top of that, he still had the issues going on with the DMCA, so people were still punching in to see what the deal was with that. So it kind of worked to his favor having drama. If not, it'd been dead in the water.
I'll review Ghost of Tsushima only because it seems like it's the best game of the year. We'll see. But definitely the thing is... Oh, his name is Semrecito. Semrecito. Thank you. I had no idea how to pronounce that. Thank you for helping me with that. The thing is, if you watch my playthrough of a game, if you just even watch the credits rolling during a playthrough of a game, I generally will sum up all of my thoughts about said game when the credits are rolling at the very last part. And in addition to that, like I said, if you just watch the playthrough, why you could get the impression you don't need a concrete
lazy fuck. So what does that really mean, ladies and gentlemen? He didn't do Last of Us 2 because his fans asked for it. He did it because he's another piece of shit opportunist that was looking for a chance to get on a hype train with it and wrote it out for everything it was worth. No different than anybody else who makes repeated fucking videos about Last of Us 2 because of the new outrage that was coming out each and every fucking minute. And don't be wrong, if the video's good, then the videos are good, but you know what I'm saying? No different. And you know what I'm saying? People built channels off that shit, you know what I'm saying? I mean, whatever, that's the game, that's the grind. Do what you gotta do. But same concept, to be honest. He tried to milk it in the exact same way that he would shit on the very people that I was just describing to you who tried to ride the train of Last of Us 2 outrage. Same concept. Phil shits on people who do stuff like that. But yet Phil tried to capitalize on it himself. The only reason why Phil thinks he's justified over another independent content creator and or content creators is the fact that, oh, I actually played the game. I'm an actual gamer. Oh, I actually have a right to be upset. Forgetting that those other people are gamers too. Whatever. I guess Phil assumes everybody's as phony and as fake as he is. I guess.
Split up review, a separate thing from my stream or my playthrough to know how I felt about a game. You know what I'm saying? Now, I understand if you really liked my edited style reviews. I did too. You know, I did them for a long time as The Hateful Truth, and then I converted them into a series for my KO Gaming channel back in 2016, and they were very popular. In fact, the KO Gaming stuff blew up. The KO Gaming stuff had a video that had 1 million views. Several of the videos had hundreds of thousands of views. A couple
that video only recently hit 1 million views. Now, I mean recently, I mean only in the last probably 2 years. He's talking about Homefront Revolution, by the way, and it didn't even hit 1 million views within the year he put it out there. It didn't hit 1 million views in the next year he put it out there. It took like 2 or 3 years before it hit 1 million views. And the reason why is because he killed his own momentum over there on that channel. He fucked himself over. And once he figured out that people weren't going to wait on him and that all the momentum was gone, and that same momentum that wasn't because, oh, he just put out an amazing video, it's because another content creator, a much bigger content creator, a much more credible content creator, a much more likable content creator, sat there and had done a video over the game and saw Phil's review and shouted him out. Or even put a segment of his video into Phil's video into his video, or he definitely put the link in the description. He basically gave Phil a shout out. And that was Phil's boost. That was where Phil got the majority of his attention. But Phil, with his false validation, thought, oh, this is all me. This is all me. This is why you guys are all here. And he let the shit die out, believing that, oh, I'm going to go on this staycation. When I come back, you guys will just be there and all the views will keep rolling in. This is going to be the new cash cow. That's not what happened. Is he telling the truth about those other videos getting, 100,000 views? Yes, he is telling the truth about that. But the one video that was his home run, if you will, his grand slam, let's say that, he never was able to replicate that. And so he didn't. And so he gave up on the channel afterwards when he found out what his true value was. Get it? True value, knockoff, cheap, whatever.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 views, It was a good channel, it was a profitable channel, and I actually really enjoyed making content for it. YouTube ruined it. YouTube demonetized the whole channel. YouTube just ruined it for me. I said, I'm not going to work on this anymore. I'm not going to work my...
And he's lying about the demonetization too, by the way. But, Phil's a scumbag, so that's what that is. Let me give you guys a point of an example. How is it that KO Gaming was demonetized, but when DSP Gaming got knocked off of YouTube temporarily and then lost monetization, right? The first channel he went to was KO Gaming. Why didn't he go to King of Hay Vlogs? King of Hay Vlogs didn't have any problems. They weren't demonetized. It was still going hard. So why didn't he just put his content over there? He didn't. The first channel he thought about going to was KO Gaming. And he tried to say that same shit. Oh, well, there was a little bit of problems over here and everything, but, because, I don't really put any content over here anymore, and it's not really profitable over here, but we'll put it here for now until I can get things worked out. And what happened after that? Complained that there weren't enough people watching. He was getting his ad revenue, though. Wasn't anything getting demonetized, at least from what he said, or at least from mostly what he said, I should say. He just said the ad revenue was really, really low, but he'll deal with it. And as soon as DSP Gaming came back into possession and it was able to be monetized again, he ran right back to that. So why would you go to a demonetized channel to put your gameplay content on when you have a third channel that's perfectly fine?
Putting out quality content for you guys that I then get shoved under the rug, won't get featured, I can't make money on it, just because of some algorithm that's a piece of garbage that thinks that my content, what of those reviews was not ad friendly exactly? They were professionally done, but according to the algorithm, they weren't ad friendly.
Has Phil done anything in his life that was professionally done? And if that was the case, why was he fired from almost every job he's ever had? Jesus Christ, he got fired from 2 MCNs. He wants to talk about professionally done. What a fucking clown.
Doing that I'm not. If you want to hear my thoughts on a playthrough, you can watch the playthrough live, or you can watch the
He's
credits.
too lazy to even do a review on it. He's telling you right here that he's too lazy to do a review. Just watch the end of his playthrough and you'll catch a synopsis of what he's feeling. He's too lazy to sit down and give you a 20-minute review if there's not a bunch of drama circulating the game already that he can capitalize off. But he wants to tell you that he put out professional grade content? Sure he did. Sure he did. And Cat won the Kentucky Derby last year.
And with some exceptions, I will probably do a formal review. But outside of that, I have no plans on going back to the old school formula if that's really what you were hitting at here. Okay? Alice Televan cheered. He says, I missed the videos you made for KO Gaming. They were good stuff. As do I. Like I said, that year was unique for me. I had weeks where basically every day I did a main stream, and then at nights I was working on edited stuff, and it was really fun. But it's not viable anymore, you know? Especially as a full-time streamer, I gotta be here all the time. So, Crump tipped me $1. Says, when the Vest streak ends, are we going to start it completely over from zero, or is it over for good? I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I haven't really thought that far ahead, because this whole thing started as a result of you guys.
Now, let me jump in. The reason why he hasn't thought of that is because he's going to shame you guys when it fails. After he comes up with all the excuses to try to put it off to make it seem like it doesn't fail. So that's the problem in general. That's the reason why he hasn't thought ahead. Just to go and show how much of an unrealistic motherfucker he is. He's expecting this shit to go on forever. And if it fails, or if it even appears to be failing, he'll blame you guys. Oh, this wasn't my idea. This wasn't my plan. This was what you guys started. This is what you guys wanted. So if it fails, it's because you guys took it for granted. That you didn't feel the need to keep going and you weren't committed to it. He's damn near throwing those same excuses at them now. He has no qualms about sitting there shaming these people to continue to give him money so he can reap the benefits of success. Which is basically just him collecting his $200 a day and going up over there on kiwi farms and mentally jacking himself off at the people fucking laughing at him because he looks like a Mr. Potato Head when he puts that fucking platinum vest on. And why are people so stupid to keep giving him money? That's really all it comes down to. Because you would think anybody, any rational individual would come to the understanding that if this ends, and then end for them, it would really be okay if it ends, we can always start over. What's the problem with starting over? There isn't one. Unless you're a weak piece of shit that needs validation and needs something, right, to justify your existence day to day. And he's chosen his price to be $200. Some people chose their price to be 30 fucking pieces of silver. It is what it is. At the end of the day, people sell themselves cheap. Everybody sells. I'm sorry, not everybody. Let's reword that. let me reword that. People in general will sell themselves cheap. Usually because they don't know their worth. Phil is desperate. He's an e-beggar. He'll just sell himself out for as much as he can get. Wings of Redemption is a great example of that. He'll tell you he will sell himself out to the lowest common denominator because all he's trying to do is capitalize off whatever he thinks his name can get him. Sad existence, but that is the truth. And that's why a lot of people who may or may not have been something at one time or another become fucking lolcows. No different. So that's the reality. That's what it really comes down to.
Say, if that were to happen, let's say tonight on the Street Fighter stream, we don't raise the tip skull and the whole thing ends at 201. I'd still be okay with that. I'd be very grateful. And I'd say, what do you guys want to do? The thing is now, the vest is part of the stream culture. You know what I mean? It's part of this whole deal.
It's part of the stream culture. This gimmick, his words, not mine, by the way. This gimmick that's only popped up 4 months ago is now part of the culture. Okay. So how long do we have to keep doing this bubble act thing until that's part of the culture? I'm just saying, if we're going to go, if it's part of the culture, this clown culture, basically, we might as well go ahead and, call a spade a spade. But the vest is now part of the culture. Okay. I didn't know there was an actual culture over there. I didn't know begging warranted that. But if it, it is what it is. He's He's proud of what he does.
Three vests right there. I have a vest right here that you guys are used to now seeing and we putting on regularly. We have emotes that we just added that are the vest. You see what I mean? Like, I would think that you
That doesn't
guys
make it a culture. Or that doesn't make it necessarily part of the culture. It makes it just that, a gimmick and or a fad. You know what a fad is, right, Phil? You call people who use gimmicks on their streams and stuff that is artificial hype, as he's also called it in the past. He's called those things fads. The vest thing is no different. Theoretically, success, in air quotes, however you want to measure that, as it pertains to Darkside Phil, is merely a fad. That's why he can't hold on to it. Okay, let's go ahead and let him continue to validate his gimmick. Oh my god, this is a bit more pathetic than I thought it'd be.
I want to see it continue. That even if it ended, that maybe you guys would want it to reset somewhat, and we'd just kind of start over. All right, and that would be unfortunate, certainly, but I guess we would see, you know.
Why would it be unfortunate? Oh, because you need to be validated by some fucking false number? Jesus Christ, Phil. It's like people who chase subs on YouTube. That's not very good. Wow. So you need a fake number that doesn't mean jack shit of jack shit to validate your success. Is that basically what you're saying? Because theoretically, 201 for the vest streak means what exactly? It doesn't mean really anything if you think about it. Because one, it lost its value the moment that people stopped contributing to it. Two, in general, people need a reset. They need a reason to start over. People who don't want to start over and want to try to keep these amazing win streaks on forever and shit like that, and then usually end up busting themselves up doing so. You see that in combat sports a lot, for example. That comes from the validation that comes with that number. But at the end of the day, it's just a false number. It's something that's already come into existence and has already become part of the past. End of story. Everything gets beat eventually. Everything needs to start over. That's how you grow. But if you're someone who's a perpetual loser, for example, like our boy here, Dark Geppetto, you need to have that going so you can go ahead and show people, see that number right there? That's what makes me great. That's what proves my existence. And that proves that people like me and people care about me. That you guys have been supporting me for this much time. And if it goes away and if it ends, how can I ever have any faith or trust in you? And why would I even consider putting out content? Because you guys are just going to let me down again. There you go. So I've actually already answered my own point, or validated my own point. And the fact that if you guys let it end right here, it means that you guys don't care. It means that I can't trust you guys to continue to support me. And if I can't trust you, then why should I have to work hard for you? He's legit trying to pass that off, which is in itself almost a very cult-like type of mindset. Basically having the cult leader establish these false goals and whatnot, or milestones, right? But milestones that they can't actually let become a milestone, and it has to continue to keep going. Because if not, you've let me down. Oh, I'm not mad at you. I'm just disappointed. And you really wouldn't want to disappoint me, would you? Think about all the time and effort that I've put into this. Think about all the time and effort we put into this. And you guys let it all go. You guys let it fail. And you guys are going to have to live with that. He's legit throwing that on them. And I'm sure some of you might see that. If you don't, that's okay. But but that's legit what he's pulling. Oh, yikes! That's disgusting. That's slimy. Ugh. I don't envy LSB on this shit. His cult video is gonna be a head trip. That's gonna be a fucking head trip for him. Yikes! Because you're asking a legitimate, decent person. At least as far as I know, I may have only had like one or two conversations with LSB, but you're asking a decent person to basically delve into the mind of people who not only have convinced them to give up their children, give up their bodies, kill for him, just con people out of their money, right? but you're talking about people who have manipulated the Bible, their religion, or their faith in general humanity for their own like wants and needs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit gets really, really grimy. And if you're a decent person, you can have a hard time wrestling with that shit. It can make you lose faith in people. It can legit make you lose faith in people. It can legit get you to the point where you don't trust anything that anybody does because you automatically assume that they have some type of motive behind all of it. Which most times they do anyway, but it's usually not malicious. It's usually on a subconscious type level. Yikes. I don't know. You guys need to pray for your boy LSB, because shit could get ugly for that.
The thing is, once it ends, would we ever get it back? That's a good question. Because that's what a lot of people are hypothesizing, that when the streak ends, it would never happen again. And you may be very well right, and I'm a skeptical person.
And that's not something that other people have hypothesized. Sorry. That's something that he's mentally come up with. You guys have already failed by letting it go. By letting that streak failed. Why would I even assume that you guys would be able to go back? You guys didn't show that dedication the first time. Oh, well, we can get there again. We can get there again. How would you do so? You've already failed me once. You've already failed yourselves once. That's legit what he's saying here. It's something that he's legit said before. This is how he propagates his bullshit. And he thinks he's being slick. He thinks that he's legit mentally above everybody fucking else, and they're all just going to fall for it hook, line, and sinker. And that's why we go into these pathetic fits of anger. We go into these pathetic fits of sadness, right? We go into the inspirational bullshit. You guys you've seen all of this in these Vest celebrations. Want another example? I'll give you a quick one, because I just mentioned it. In that last Vest celebration, right? 2.0, when he sat there and brought out that fucking fan letter that may or may not have been fake, right? And tried to pass that shit off as a point of motivation, but also shows, look at what he's had to endure for them. Look at what he goes through. Life hasn't been the easiest for him. He's gone through a lot of strife and stress, and it hurts. But this right here is giving him meaning. It's little moments like this. It's when people take time to write him a fucking fan letter and send it to him that he sat on for 3 months, by the way. Which happened. It's funny too, actually, now I think about it, that fan letter came through right in that particular fan letter, I should say, came through right before the Vest streak started. I think I mentioned that before, but if not, I'll mention it now. It's interesting how that came about. That's really coincidental. And it's really coincidental how, yeah, his eyes got red, but there weren't no tears. He crocodiled that bitch up. But yet again, it doesn't matter, because the emotional message was still put out, which is what he wanted. That's what this scumbag does. This is what he propagates. So, for the few of you who have sent me a message saying, yo, GTG, don't you think it's a little fucked up by saying that, hey, maybe his mother should have swallowed, or maybe his father's pullout game should have been better? You look at that and you tell me what that thinks. And you tell me what you think. Is it brutal to say that? Yes. Is it foul to say that to some degree? Yes. That don't make it any less true, though. If that was your kid that this idiot right here was manipulating on a regular basis, not to sit there and question you as a parent or anything, or question your ability, to go ahead and be a good parent to your kids, but God forbid that your child was following someone like this, what would you think? What would be your thought process on the situation? I'm not wishing death upon him. I'm just saying mistakes have been made. And apparently they just kept compiling on each other to get to where we're at now. People like this right here are not born like this. They're bred like this. He was raised to be like this for whatever reason. And coming from a house where at least on his cousin, having a cousin who is addicted to drugs because her parents were addicted to drugs. That's Phil's aunt and uncle, by the way. And the fact that we have his own parents who have, as Phil has admitted, them both sleeping on each other, or, cheating on each other, I should say. And so on and so forth. And then you're talking about this idiot right here who has his own issues with abandonment, his own issues with not getting his way, who had anger problems and anger issues, who has issues with, what's the word I'm looking for? with being... you have someone who believes that he's greater than what he is, but then at the same time questions his own existence because he can't measure up to other people, whether physically, intellectually, from a look standpoint, or whatever. He's got a lot of fucking problems. He's a petri dish of issues, and we all have issues. But Phil is one of the rare glimpses, is a rare glimpse into the mind, into the life of someone who is a perpetual loser and has chosen the easy way out. And the easy way out was to manipulate others. And that's why we're at where we're at now. So yes, what I say is brutal. It's true though. Or at least I think so. But tell me what you see. I'm all about passing the ball to somebody else. Here, I'll let you run with it. Call your play. You tell me what you think.
And I would say, you know, maybe that's true. Maybe that will happen. Maybe once the streak ends, it's over. You're never going to see it happen again. But I would leave it to you guys to decide what you want. Do you want the streak to resume? Do you want me to just give up on all the vests? I have all these vests around my house now. Do you want me to just forget the vests? You know?
Yet again, there's the shaming process right there. It's all on you guys. It's all in your hands. If you want this to keep going, hey, it's all on you. And now he has all his multicolored vests. I put time and thought into picking those vests out, and then I actually bought them with very limited funds that I keep telling you guys I don't have. You guys don't want to see all that go to waste, do you? Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, call your plays. And this piece of shit is so lazy and complacent that he would rather drink water out of his fucking bathroom instead of going downstairs. He has no compunction, or he has no problems with wasting these people's time at all, but he would rather drink bathroom water instead of going downstairs and just getting water out of the sink or out of his Brita or purifier or whatever it is that he said he bought that they use. That's what this has come down to. You tell me a scumbag like that wouldn't sit there and fleece your kids for every last dime he can get out of not only their pockets but certainly yours? Ask Derek. Ask Derek how that worked. Ask Sidella how that worked.
Someone actually contacted me and said that they wanted to get me a vest, and they showed me this vest. I was like, that actually looks really cool, and I'm thinking about telling them yes.
Now here's now we get into the next part of the manipulation. So I've given you, well, let's reword that. He's given you all the different reasons on why the ball's in your court. You guys started this. You guys have to finish it. Finishing it meaning don't ever let it end. And I just told you guys what my investment was before I went ahead and drank my pee water. Now you guys need to decide, because now one of your own has invested in this as well. Matter of fact, two of your own have, because the platinum vest was bought by somebody in the cult. Now somebody else is offering up a vest. You guys are in this together. This is a crowdfunding situation. This is a community type situation. You guys got to be able to keep this together. You're not just doing it for me. You're not just doing it for you. You're doing it for each other. You're telling me that smug, fucking almost pedo look that he has on his face right now don't sit there and tell you guys something? Like I said, you don't have to go ahead and take my word for it. Listen to him. Take what he says at face value and what do you think about it? You're telling me this feces water look on his face right here don't tell you something? That doesn't tell you that something's up? That's a disgusting type of way of manipulating someone. But there's certainly somebody who's like, what are you guys going to do? And the thing is, he doesn't need the whole collective to come together for this. He just needs a few people to do it. That's all, and that's all he's really fishing for. He's just fishing for a few people to consistently come through and keep the situation going. And everybody else benefits, like a good cult, because you got everything's is compartmentalized. Everybody's in different groups and set up in a different way. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. It's like watching People's Temple bullshit all over again. All he needs is the Jim Jones glasses.
Luca Blight took me $1.31. So you may not have seen this. The makers of Suikoden, or is it Suikoden? I don't know how to pronounce it. broke away from Konami. They're now kickstarting a new IP called Ayuden Chronicle. Google it. It looks fantastic, and hopefully it's a success, and you'll play it eventually, because I remember you're a big fan. You're right. I played the first 3 games in that series, and the first 2 are outstanding. The third one was pretty good, but I think the first 2 are the best because they actually link and have the same characters and everything. Yeah, I would like to see them come back and do another RPG franchise if possible. So that's exciting news. Blanca Balls just did me $2. It says, I saw something called the Twitch Lifetime Subscription. Do you know details about it? How do you get that? Nope. The only thing I'm aware of...
Why would you expect him to know anything about his job? He just comes in, he clocks in, he begs, and then he goes home. Excuse me. He doesn't know jack shit about anything else. The most informed that this idiot has ever been about anything that pertains to Twitch was the 2/3 years he was gone, and Twitch was sending him emails, because he was still a partner, by the way. Even though his account was deactivated, they were still sending him emails to keep him up to date on what the company was doing and so on and so forth from a partnership level, what they felt he needed to know, and also probably try to entice him to come back. And when he was being used as a guinea pig for their anti-trolling efforts, outside of that, he don't know jack shit. He barely knows about all the different ways he can make money on the platform outside the easy shit that he presents, that is presented to him, that he in turn presents to the rest of the idiots. Other than that, he don't know jack shit about shit.
That you are able to gift a lifetime sub, if I'm correct, to like a bot or something like that. I could be wrong, but I think that Twitch has the ability behind the scenes, if you like contact Twitch support, you can request that like an account that you need to have a sub all the time can have it. Or if you really like someone, like your top moderator or whatever, you can gift someone a lifetime sub that never expires. To my knowledge, now this was years ago when I first was made aware of this, I think you can only do 2 for an entire channel. And once you do it, apparently it like locks in forever. So if you ask for the wrong, like let's say, oh, I want Nightbot.
Do you not know what lifetime means? Okay. Okay.
Sub. Then you decide you're not going to use Nightbot anymore. You want to use a different bot. You're fucked. So I don't know if that's what it is or not, and that's what you're addressing. I don't know, but that's the only knowledge that I actually have.
Basically, look it up for yourself. Look it up for yourself, which is something that can't remember the name of the podcast now. But these 2 guys, they talked about DSP shit back in the day briefly. It was only on they only did like 1 or 2 shows talking about it. But one of the guys was like a frequent guest on like Sons of Kojima shit or whatever. And they had said that Phil's the type of person where you ask him a question, and instead of him saying no, he'll go about it in such a roundabout way and whatnot to try to make himself not seem stupid, as if you not knowing something makes you seem stupid. It does. If you don't know, you don't know. But Phil don't look at it that way. He has to know a little bit of everything, right? And he'll give you like a roundabout synopsis to make you kind of believe he knows something about it, and then immediately drop it and say, "Oh, but I'm not really quite sure though. I'm not sure. You know, I don't really know. I haven't really looked into it. Haven't invested a lot of time in it." He does that frequently, like consistently. To be honest with you, the problem is that more often than not he's wrong, and then when he gets called out, it's like, oh, okay, maybe I was talking about something else, or maybe I was just this and that and there. Oh, well, there you go. He doesn't care. He just wants to look. He wants to look and be perceived in a certain type of way within that moment, and then that's it. And that's a terrible way to live, to be honest with you. But you know. Chalk it up to the game, I guess. Sorry, chalk it up to the community, I suppose.
Heard of about a lifetime sub. No, I didn't hear, oh, pay $1,000 down and you get a sub forever. I've heard nothing like that whatsoever. Okay? Super Warp Zone cheered and said, the gray vest is cool, but it brings out the gray hairs in my beard. Actually, they're white. I don't have gray hair at all. I have tons of white hair in my beard. Most of the hair in my beard, I'm not even kidding, is white. Here, it's all white. It's only, I would say my mustache has a few whites, but mostly it's dark brown up there down. But this beard part is almost all white hairs now. And here too, like you say, oh, some people comment, my beard looks patchy. It's not patchy, it's all white hairs. And when you record them with the camera, because it's not a great camera.
You still lying to yourself, Phil? First off, it's just patchy. Truth be told. There's enough screenshots out there to prove that. Secondly, if it bothers him so much, what apparently it does, if he feels the need to explain this over and over and over again, just shave it. Just shave it. Enough said. But he's too lazy to do so, so he wants to keep going through the mental gymnastics of this bullshit. And if you have to say, and I'd say he's done this shit easily 30 or 40 times he's had to explain this. If in the first 2 or 3 times you have that you've been asked this question and you've been able to answer it and you still haven't gotten your point across yet, you're not going to. So maybe you should take things into your own hooves and actually do something about it. But not Phil Burnell, though. Just go ahead and keep using it as a talking point to act like he's engaged with these people, and he's really not. He's legit just trying to milk the clock.
It blends in. It makes it look like there's no... Like, right here, people say, his beard is empty. No, this is all white hair right here. You know? So, it is what it is when you get old, dude. What are you going to do? I'm not going to sit here with Just for Men brushing my fucking beard on stream. Who cares? Who gives a shit?
It's already suspected that he actually colors his hair, though, up top. So don't sit there and take that last quiff as if it's just a throwaway. It's more than likely he's already been coloring his hair. He's already losing it, so you would think he would try to color what little he has left. He's just too lazy to do the beard and everything. Maybe. Just throwing it out there.
Fashion model, right? Furious Kirk cheered.
Fashion models are the only people who color their hair? Okay, sure. I didn't know that. I didn't. Matter of fact, what are you doing that? What are you doing that would give you any type of information at all on fashion models? Because why would you be looking at other women, Phil? Why would you be looking at other men? Oh, that's right. Never mind.
As much time to watch whole playthroughs anymore and watch your vlogs or podcast type videos more. I find looking for reviews in the final video I accidentally stumble upon or hear a spoiler. The non-edited reviews might be beneficial for people in my position. Fair enough. Okay, let's continue because we were doing a game schedule and we got very derailed here. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so continuing on with the game schedule. August is pretty empty. We're probably going to be continuing on and finishing the new releases I'm playing right now, and probably the Destroy All Humans remake. The Viewer's Choice playthroughs you guys are voting on right now are going to be a major part of the month. As for new releases, maybe Deliver Us the Moon, maybe the Samurai Jack game. I will definitely be playing Tell Me Why Episode 1 around the end of the month. And that's about it for the month of August. If you guys want to see me maybe play Wasteland or something, let me know. But that's probably August, okay? Now, in September, things go a little crazy. In fact, September is pretty much an insanely busy gaming month. Are you ready to hear this? All right. September 4th, we've got a dual release day with Marvel's Avengers and the Tony Hawk 1 and 2 collection. Marvel's Avengers is a 100% yes for me. I'm playing it. Obviously, I've been saying the entire time that the Marvel Cinematic Universe was going that they didn't have really many Marvel games outside of the original Captain America and Thor games. They never capitalized on anything else there. Finally, now they're doing an Avengers game. Okay? So I'll be playing that for sure. Then, Tony Hawk 1 and 2, I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I definitely want to play this game. I've heard so much about the game is great. The original Tony Hawks are the best in the franchise. People grew up playing these games. It's what got them into skating or got them into skating games. And then I have to play them. But, it has licensed soundtracks. And the licensed soundtracks are a huge issue right now, both on Twitch and on YouTube, where anyone playing licensed...
Wait. I thought you said that when you bought the game, you bought into the license. So shouldn't music not be an issue? Aren't you the one who was sitting there spitting off all that legal bullshit earlier on in the year? That, like, you own legal precedence over your content and the games that you buy are part of that content? I'm just asking, because why are we skipping games because of music, which you've been doing all year? Arguably, you did it most of last year, too. If, you own the license to the game. I'm just asking, ladies and gentlemen. That is something he said. We've all heard it. As silly as it may sound. Just asking.
Music seems to be either getting stricken down by DMCA, they're getting their videos claimed and muted on YouTube. It's a big issue. So
isn't YouTube just an archive? So if one game playthrough gets claimed because of music, is that really a big deal, being that you're playing 4 or 5 games concurrently? Is it really that big of an issue? It is just an, excuse me, yet again, it is just an archive. Can't you just take the hit on it? And Twitch, I mean, didn't you say that you have everything worked out on Twitch now? And didn't you say it was all troll activity? It wasn't legit DMCA? I'm just asking.
Game. Alright. That I might play it and I might just have to mute the music. And there's nothing I can do about it. Seriously. And I hate that. But I can't risk.
Then why are you going to... Then you might as well just... Excuse me. You might as well just skip the game then. To be honest. Because you don't provide any background noise, any commentary, anything to actually make up for what the music provides, which is atmosphere. You can't do that. You provide none of those things. Since that sets the stage and sets the mood, and you can't do any of those things, then you might as well just skip it. Because you muting the music doesn't prove anything. So we legit have a dead playthrough. Already. It'll literally be DOA on arrival. Yeesh.
Last weekend, DMCA is taken seriously here by Twitch. I cannot risk losing my streaming capabilities and or having a whole playthrough blocked or muted on YouTube. So I might have to play it with no music. As shitty as that sounds, I mean, unless they have an optional non-licensed soundtrack created in the game for people who are going to stream it, I don't see what I can do with that game, honestly. You know, what else do you guys expect from me? There's not much I could do. I can't control that. You know what I mean? I mean, unless they have an optional non-licensed soundtrack created in the game for people who are going to stream it, I don't see what I can do with that game, honestly. You know, what else do you guys expect from me? There's not much I could do. I can't control that. You know what I mean? The week after that, we've got...
So owning a license to the game means nothing then, basically. Is that what we're saying? Is that where we're getting? Okay, I just want to make sure. I'm just trying to keep up. I'm just trying to keep up. I haven't had my SnortBucks today, so and you know how I get when I don't get my SnortBucks or whatever. So I'm just trying to keep up. So when I buy the game, I own the license. But now that I own the license, when I buy the game, the license is useless because of the music. This is all Dark Side Phil logic. Take that for what you will.
Yesterday, the Outer Worlds, excuse me, I'm going blah blah blah. The Outer Worlds Peril on Gorgon, which is the major DLC for Outer Worlds, a game that I really enjoyed last year. It was one of my favorite games of 2019. Although, admittedly, it's mostly a narrative. It's not really focused on the gunplay. I'd be very interested in playing the expansion for that. Now, also, the first 2 weeks of September, if everything goes according to plan and basically they're not full of crap, Don't Nod is saying they're going to release the next 2 episodes of Tell Me Why the first 2 weeks of September. That would mean the first episode is coming out August 27th. The second episode is coming out September 3rd. And the third and final episode is supposedly coming out September 10th. So that would mean 1 episode a week, roughly 4 hours an episode, 12-hour game. I'm strongly considering getting Xbox Game Pass for this game because I don't foresee myself wanting to drop anywhere between $30 to $50 to buy a game that's only going to be 3 sessions. You see what I mean? So I'm definitely thinking Game Pass is the way to go. And if that is the case, yes, I will be playing those episodes for those 3 weeks. And that's the end of the game. Apparently the game is only 3 episodes. Not like Life is Strange, which was 5. This is only 3. Okay? Okay. The next week, which is September 18th, WWE 2K Battlegrounds. The game that is stumping a lot of people. Some people are thinking it looks great. Others are like, what the hell is this? There's no WWE 2K game this year. As it comes to like how they usually do an yearly installment of WWE, where you get the ability to create your own wrestler, sim mode, and all that. They're not doing it.
For any of you guys who are from the Fight Club channel, you already know what that is and whatnot. And just to reiterate, I wasn't sponsored by WWE or anything like that. I found the trailer for it, as well as that what was the name of that Snort game, that Pig Snort game trailer I found. Was it called Iron Snorts? Something like that. Those 2 game trailers, I found those online. I thought they were hilarious. They were a nice jab at Phil, and that's why I put those in. But we'll see about Battlegrounds. I might just get that game just for shits and giggles and whatnot and see what comes out of that. I may very well do that. But no, I was not sponsored. I threw those in as trailers just for shits and giggles, for just the semantics of it all. I didn't do it because I was sponsored. Holy shit! For a minute there, some of the people on Twitter were like, "Oh shit, GGG got sponsored." I was like, "I did? No, I didn't get sponsored. It'd be great, but no, I didn't get sponsored. Not at all. But it looks like a fun game. It's like, I mean, it kind of gives you like the, I don't know. It's kind of like NFL Blitz meets WWE. It's like that type shit. Something along those lines. Holy shit, I want to play some NBA Jam now that I think about it. I think I've got that emulated somewhere. Anyway, so just want to throw that out there. He should play that. To be honest with you, he should play Battlegrounds, though. I think it's going to be fun and whatnot. And, you know, Derek will have something to talk about outside of the shit that he usually is talking about, which is just creepy.
Actually ruined the game so badly last year, they canceled it for this year, and they're going to work on making a better one. But instead, this game is a cartoony action game where you play as wrestlers of old as well as modern wrestlers in cartoony graphics, fighting each other in a ring. Apparently, it does
Hulk
have
Hogan. About to bring him out. We're about to turn WWE champions into reality. Kind of, sort of.
Based campaign, which is interesting. I didn't know if it would, but apparently it does. Plus, of course, online capabilities and everything. So I'm actually interested in this game now. Now that I actually know that it actually has a campaign and everything, I'm actually interested in playing it. So that's coming on the 18th. On the 25th, we've got the Mafia Definitive Edition re-release. So Mafia 1, which has been remade from the ground up, is being released on the 25th, and I am doing a playthrough of that as well. So just listen to that month, okay? September 3rd, Tell Me Why Episode 2. September 4th, Marvel's Avengers and the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 Collection. September 9th, Outer Worlds Peril and Gorgon Expansion. September 10th, Tell Me Why Episode 3 in the game's conclusion. September 18th, WWE 2K Battleground. September 25th, Mafia Definitive Edition. That is a jam-packed month of content. That's going to be a great month for sure. September is going to be outstanding. Okay. October. Early October. Another dual release day that I'm really excited for. October 2nd. We've got Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, paired with Star Wars Squadrons. Okay? Interesting. First of all, the reboot or continuation of Crash Bandicoot. Now, it's not made by Naughty Dog, so I don't know how it's going to be. Is it going to be as good as the original trilogy? Better? Worse? From my understanding, it's an insanely long game. I think they were saying there's like 200 stages. That's insane. None of the Crash Bandicoot games came close to that. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's, oh, they say 200, but that means because you replay the stage 3 times with variations, right? Who knows? But definitely interested in playing that one. In addition, obviously, Star Wars Squadrons. A new Star Wars game where you're piloting, what is it, an X-Wing or whatever? Pretty good. Excited for that. And that's going to be good because we haven't had a Star Wars game in a while. Then, there really isn't anything going on until the middle and the second half of the month, all right? Now, there's a lot of games in October that are going to be maybes for me. Allow me to go through some of these. On October 20th, Remothered Broken Porcelain. It's a horror game. And I haven't played a horror game in a while, and I'm craving a horror game. It could be shit. I never played the original Remothered. I heard some people liked it and some people hated it. So I don't know if this is a game I want to play or not, but it's a horror game. And that's at least a positive for me because I haven't played one in a long time. For variety's sake, I'm interested in it.
There are plenty of horror games available right now, asshole. So, you're still chasing day one views, huh? Still hoping the new shit's going to go ahead and put you back on top, as if you were on top in the first place. But you still hoping for the new, or still dependent on the new releases, huh? Wow, what a clown.
Oh my god, excuse me. Oh my god, excuse me. Woo! Also, that same day, the 20th of October, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Now, I'm confused about this one, alright? Bear with me here. There already was a Lego Star Wars. There was the original movie trilogy, and then there was Lego Star Wars that dealt with the prequels, and then there was a Lego Star Wars for The Force Awakens. So what exactly is this game? Is this just a collection of all the Lego games together? Is this a brand new Lego game that tackles the same exact stuff? I'm confused. And the thing is, I I have played Lego games over the years, both for stream, but also I actually used to play them. You guys don't know this. I used to play them behind the scenes back when I lived in Connecticut. Some nights I would play games like Lego Indiana Jones and Lego Star Wars to relax. I never told you guys, I never recorded it.
That's probably a lie. Phil does not play any games offline without recording it. Especially since he started doing this for his job or whatnot, or his hobby that he wanted to share with people. So I X'd the doubt on that. There may have been playthroughs that maybe when Panda was over, they played with each other and she didn't want to be published for whatever reason. But I definitely hit X the doubt on that shit. It's not like WWE Champions where it's his dirty little addiction and he doesn't want nobody to know about it. It's a little different of a situation there.
Just to relax and just have some like downtime stuff at night. Sometimes I would just have a drink. Those games are incredibly fun for chill streaming. Not for serious, oh my god, this is a serious playthrough. But just every maybe once or twice a week, do like a late night Lego stream. They're good for that.
Did you ever think maybe that's your problem? You treating video games as serious playthroughs and instead of just treating a video game as a video game and just trying to have a good time with it and not worry about what the fuck people think? Just start it out there. You know, I understand that you're so desperate to make this seem like it's an actual job that you actually do well at. But that doesn't mean you have to kill the experience for yourself or anybody else. Just throwing it out there, just so you can fulfill some type of, I don't know, insecurity that you have about people laughing at you because you don't do anything but beg for a living, despite the fact that that's legit what you just do. You just beg for a living.
And I feel that those would be fun interactive streams. So I'm actually strongly considering getting this collection, even if I don't play it consistently, just to play it over a period of time to add to the chill streaming stuff. Okay? Now, get this. Did you guys even know there's a Transformers video game coming out in October? I didn't know, and I couldn't even find any footage of this. But the game is apparently called Transformers Battlegrounds. I don't know what it is. Now, I like Transformers. You guys know I've played many Transformer games over the years. And if it's something that looks good, I'm going to get it. But I don't know what it is. I couldn't find any concrete information on the internet about what this game is or what it's going to be. But everyone insisted. I looked at 4 different websites. They all said October 23rd this game's coming out. But no one knows what it is. So maybe it was just announced a million years ago and then no information came out. Maybe it'll be indefinitely delayed. But I wrote it down regardless. Okay, Watch Dogs Legion, excited for that one, finally coming out on October 29th. On October 30th, it's the Dark Pictures anthology Little Hope, finally, over a year after the release of the first one, Man of Medan, we get Little Hope, and it comes out the day before Halloween. Perfect timing for a cool game like that. I'm actually really looking forward to that playthrough. And then as you guys know, typically I do a Halloween horror marathon. Usually what we do is we run a subscribers goal, and if we hit it, then you guys get to like nominate games and stuff for me to play during the Halloween Horror Marathon. Likely we'll do that this year. Likely what it'll be is that'll be the goal for September, and then we'll have people nominate games and vote in October for what I'll play during that. So that'll be coming up. That will be coming up on the 31st, on October, the actual day, the actual Halloween day. All right, and yes, as usual, I'll more than likely be dressing up in costume, and we'll talk more about that when we get closer to it, okay? November. Now, here's the thing about November, and here's the thing that I wanted to talk about, that I've kind of been waiting to talk about. If you look at all the game release timings for this year, November, 1,000,000% looks like that's the month the new consoles are coming out. Here's why. There's right now only 3 major releases coming out in November. The first is Yakuza 7, which I think is called like the song, no, Like a Dragon it's called, right? Like a Dragon. That's coming out on the 13th of November. And by the way, that's when Yakuza is changing from an action-based open world franchise into a turn-based RPG. Could be interesting, okay? On the 17th of November is Assassin's Creed Valhalla, all right? And then on the 19th of November, finally, the release of Cyberpunk 2077. And ladies and gentlemen, there are no other game releases scheduled currently at all for 2020.
He's skipping something because he's a fucking idiot. You would think because he plays it every year. Call of Duty is more likely going to be out in November as well. They usually are. They're usually out in like late October, or in November. So that's a thing too. And even though it hasn't been announced, at least not at the time that I'm recording this, and certainly not at the time that he recorded that, it's still a thing. Also, and I just want to throw this out here just for you guys, just a tidbit, just a taste, and I'll address it towards the end of this, is that most of the games that he's naming, ladies and gentlemen, are more than likely going to be sent to him as a review copy or an influencer copy. Keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. He's more than likely going to get a free copy of all this. And we're 3 for 3 on this Dark Geppetto thing right now, as it pertains to the screenshot. So good shit. Because, you know, it's good to see him for what he really is. But yeah, so keep that just out there. Just keep that out there. Because given our current climate, as it pertains to the pandemic and so on and so forth, you're going to see these companies basically rely on these influencers more than ever. And so I would also sequester that there's definitely going to be gifted, there's definitely going to be consoles that are going to be sent to some of those big influencers as well. I mean, I think they usually do that anyway, but I think that'll happen more than ever because it's going to be really hard to get a console day one. I think it's going to be difficult. It's going to be really, really difficult, especially if this pandemic ends up leading into 2021. Everybody's going to want to try to order everything online. It's going to be rough. It's going to be very, very rough. So, but we'll see. Time will tell on that.
See why, what I'm getting at? When there's no other game releases, that tells me that's bullshit. That tells me that they're waiting for these consoles to announce their release dates, and then all the games that are supposed to be the launch titles for the consoles will then say, okay, we're coming out here and here and here. You see what I'm saying? We know for a fact Spider-Man Miles Morales, Halo Infinite, right? Some of those puzzle games, indie games and things, they're all launch titles for the new gen of consoles, but we don't know when the consoles come out, therefore we can't say when those games come out, and they're not going to say their own release dates to spoil the console release. So, looking at this, I would guarantee you either the week of Cyberpunk or the week after Cyberpunk, which would be Thanksgiving week, all right, we're more than likely going to see the release of the new consoles. The only other possibility, it could be the first week of November because there's nothing going on the first week of November whatsoever. So maybe the reason that there's nothing that week is because everyone left it open because they knew that's when the consoles are coming out and that's when all those other games will be coming out. So it's either going to be first week of November or very end of November. Both, I would guess, the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 are going to be releasing. I wouldn't think they'd come out in December. We've never seen a major console release in December before. It seems to always be in November. So that would be my guess. Okay? Now, as we already talked about on this very same celebration, okay, if I can afford the new consoles, I'm going to be covering them on release. Unboxing them live, hooking them up live, checking out the dashboard, the features live, and then over the course of a couple days, checking out all the launch titles for those consoles. In fact, if Xbox Series X has as many games at launch as they think that they're going to, I could just get Xbox Game Pass to potentially play like 5 games without dropping any extra money during the launch of that console. You see what I saying? So let's see. I'm gonna guess. First week of November. Now, I could be wrong. That's my guess. And here's why I'm guessing that. If they make those consoles the 3rd or last week of November, you've already got Black Friday. Black Friday this year is already fucked up because of the coronavirus, and no one knows what's going to happen. Like, what if the virus is still rampant in America and other countries? How are we going to have Black Friday sales? It may all end up being online sales. So I get the feeling they're not going to want to deal with that shit. They're going to want to have their consoles already out there. So I'm predicting it's going to be the first week of November for the console releases. I could be wrong, and if I am, obviously
more likely he is. But there's one thing that he's not taking for granted, right? That we're in a position where people are kind of prioritizing what they need and what they don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, not everybody's gone back to work yet. The economy still hasn't been completely stabilized yet, nor would I say it would be anytime soon, per se. Not everybody's going to be rushing out there to get the new consoles. This isn't like a regular year. Just because he sits on his fucking dumbass and doesn't give a shit because he only leaves his house once a day, doesn't mean that other people aren't prioritizing what the situation is, and so on and so forth. I understand that people want to try to get this back to a level of normality, but going ahead and rushing out and getting your kids the new console first week of November isn't exactly a priority. You can just wait till Christmas, to be honest. It's not that big of a deal. Only people like Phil, who's a leech and needs to rely on that shit, are the people who are worried about that. And even then, it might not even be worth going ahead and getting it day one. It might be alright to just wait. Even if you have the money to do it, you're more than likely going to have to wait to get it, depending on, no matter what, outlet you decide to go to, whatever your outlet is of purchasing it. Yet again, this is a stark example of someone who is not in touch with reality or what the current situation is. He's treating this shit like this is a normal day. It's not. It's not, at the end of the day. Yeah, life goes on, everything keeps pushing, but the majority of people are still dealing with shit. And they're going to want to get their priorities straight. Since this is definitely something we're going to be with for the foreseeable future, people are really taking to consideration, hey, we need to come up with backup plans. If people didn't have a backup plan before, they have one now. And that right there requires prioritizing. And going out and paying $500 or $600 or whatever it's going to be for the new console, are not exactly a priority. Maybe to his dumbass, but not everybody else. So we'll see. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we'll see. Because either which way, especially given how the situation is, Sony and Microsoft don't necessarily need to compete like that. They don't. It's not like the previous console generation where we turned the shit into game of wars, and if you will, you know what I'm saying? To try to sit there and one up each other, the marketing has to be a little different now. You know what I'm saying? Or it will be. I think it will be marketed a little different now, given the situation. They need to try to inject the human aspect into it. But that's just an assumption on my part. We'll have to wait and see.
But I think first week of November. That's what I'm calling. At least one of the consoles is coming out then. All right. So that's the year. Now, the thing is, if the new consoles come out, that's a plethora of new content for me to cover. And I already have 3 major releases in November. So between the new consoles and that, I'm very confident we will have enough coverage and enough gameplay to cover me through the rest of 2020 and into 2021. So I'm not too worried. If anything, the 1 month this year that seems like it may be sparse is August. But I'm purposely trying to time my Viewer's Choice event for that time frame. So that way we can do the Viewer's Choice stuff during the month that's slow. You see? And that'll fill up the slow time. So I think we're good. September is insanely packed. October is decent. November, if the new consoles come out, will be crazy. So we got an actual real exciting situation going on with games for the rest of this year. Okay? Couple more shout outs. Let's see here. Okay. Mr. Papa Vera Charity says, at the 250 Vest streak, if we get there, all day streaming with no one in the office, but with the camera running and audio on, a couch stream. What does that mean? I'm confused about that. So you're saying, wait a minute. You're actually saying just the couch. Just the couch. An empty couch. No one sitting on it.
Are you slow, or do you not understand what you read? I mean, the fact that you're trying to dig into that deeper than what it's meant to be is already devaluing Papa Vera. And it's sad. It's already sad enough that you've already made him your Minecraft bitch. I mean, Jesus Christ, let him have a moment of some type of comedic value for whatever that's worth. Jesus Christ. You can't let nobody shine on his channel. At all. He don't gives a fuck about your little former hug box stream and shit. But he has to devalue everything and everybody over there. It's really sad.
Not sure how that one would go down. I'm just saying, I'm not sure that people would find that too entertaining. Maybe as a joke, and then I actually do something on the stream. But I'm not too sure about that. Okay? Blanca Balls to me, $1.30. If anyone deserves a lifetime subscription, it would be Only Iced Coffee. I mean, let's face it, Only Iced Coffee probably gifted about 100 subscriptions to the channel in July. No lie. Like, he went all out supporting the channel this month. Surprisingly enough, I don't see him today. I thought for sure he would be here, and he's not here. I hope he's all right. I don't think we've seen him in a couple days. Humility.
Anyway, yeah, you could tell he's got plans for him. Because he's already kind of treating him not necessarily the way he treated Tut, because Tut had a lot of sway for the 2 months he was around. Maybe because Iced Coffee doesn't want to, exercise that. Who could say? But you could tell that Iced Coffee gets priority. And I think what Phil's hoping for is that over the next few months, keep Iced Coffee in there, keep him gifting subs, keep having him contribute to the Vest goal, and then have the rest of the idiots give money to the Vest goal. And he thinks he's going to coast for the rest of the year. But I think he needs Iced Coffee and a few other people to keep doing the situation with the subs, and then have them also cross over and continue to keep the Vest goal going. Because I think Iced Coffee's behind a lot of that too, just doing it under different names, which, whatever, he has the right to do it. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out, but yeah.
$1 and says, do you ever feel overwhelmed by the sheer power that exudes from me? There is no power that exudes from me. Any power that I have is given to me by my viewing audience. It's not coming from this direction. It's coming from that direction. It's you guys that give me any power. And also, of course, the power of the vest. As soon as this vest comes off, I'm like Clark Kent. When the vest goes on, I'm Superman. You know what I mean? Okay. Crabcock cheered, and he says, Derek says, WWE 2K Battlegrounds is like WWE All-Stars, which had 3 campaigns, a tag team gauntlet until you reach DX, Superstar campaign getting to Randy Orton, and a Legends campaign getting to The Undertaker. Fantasy match mode is like, who's the better warrior, Ultimate Warrior or the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus? Okay, interesting. Good to hear that it's going to have a lot of, single-player content, and it's not just about online multiplayer. That's good. Super Warp Zone cheered and says, we have to go back, Philly, back to the future, to the 9,375th Vest streak. Oh, man. Thank you for the cheer. That's actually good. So, people are going crazy right now in stream chat. They're asking me, what is the $200 reveal? Is there another vest? Like, guys, if I tell you, what's the point? If I were to tell you what the reveal is, then there's no motivation to get there. Is there? If you know what it is, then you've been spoiled. Right? Like, this guy laughs like Hungan. If I tell you, man, what the $200 reward is, man, then you'll have no incentive to hit it. Hungan. Oh my god. So anyway, I mean, I'll be honest, guys. We got a little bit over an hour left on the stream. Like I said, I'm actually going to run a little late today. It's not likely we're going to hit the Vest streak at this point, the tier 2. So I guess we could just stop talking about it. I doubt we're going to hit it. So I guess I'm just going to save the reveal. Maybe I'll save that reveal for the 250 Vest streak if we hit it. Okay? I had it planned for today, but it is what it is.
See how he's willing to push the goalpost back as long as he can keep the number, that invisible number, you know what I'm saying? That weightless, you know what I'm saying? Basically spaceless number, to be honest. Keep it moving, to keep it going. That's what this has come down to. He's got way more relying on it than they do. And I told you guys that from Jump Street. When he first started his bullshit, I was like, he better smarten up. He better not rely on it. But at the same time, don't shit on it either. Don't sit there and go around and keep saying, I don't think you guys can do this. I don't think you guys are committed. I don't think you guys are taking this for granted. I don't think you guys are going to hit this. Don't do that. Don't throw that shit into people's faces. You know what I'm saying? That's not how you motivate people. Negativity is not how he's ever motivated. You know what I'm saying? There's very few people, I would say very few people. I'd say most people can take negativity and just move off of it. You have to. It's part of your reality, essentially. Phil can't do that. Yet, it's interesting that he can't do that, but he'll use that as his crutch to try to motivate other people. Very strange. Very strange flex. But it's going to come back and bite him in the ass. You can tell. You can tell. Like, this whole vest celebration bullshit is actually a perfect example of it. The fact that we're at this point, like, having to do celebrations for people giving him money to put on clothes already tells you how far he's into it. Also, excuse me, how he is very hesitant to talk about if the vest streak ends and they have to reset. He does not like that. He does not like that idea. Because I think in his head, as I had already said before in my little cult segment, if you will, he's gonna have to bash them, and he's gonna have to discipline them, essentially. You guys failed at this. You guys weren't committed. You guys weren't loyal. You guys didn't care enough, because if you had, then you guys would have kept it going, and you guys didn't. And this was something that you guys started. This was your project. This was your game, and you guys let it go, not me. I try to motivate you guys, but at the end of the day, I didn't come up with this. This isn't so if it fails, it's not my fault. And I don't think you guys will ever make it to where it was. And it's a shame, because just imagine how far it could have gone. But you guys didn't care enough. I guarantee you that's how it's going to basically come out. I guarantee you. And he's desperate to keep doing the bullshit he's doing now and trying to throw that into their face to motivate that one or two people to give him money, even if it's at the last minute, even if he's forced into overtime, excuse me, just to keep the damn thing going. If you've already resorted to doing that at 201, do you know how fucking hard is it going to be once he gets to the 3s or 4s? To 500? You know what I'm saying? It's not going to work like this. And one of the reasons is, look at how many times, if you go back into DSP lore, look at how many jobs he ain't lost. Look at how many places he got fired from. Look at just the Machinima and Curse situation. And look how he twisted all that up. He got dropped from Machinima. Let's talk reality here for a minute. He got dropped from Machinima because he stepped above his station. He thought he was worth more than he was. And they were like, you know what? And he said, if you're going to treat me this way, I don't want to be with you anymore. That was all Machinima needed to get out. I would assume the person who was corresponding with him back and forth, as Phil was getting him in trouble by, yet again, stepping over his contact and trying to bounce through all these other departments or whatever, that guy was looking for that to be an out. Matter of fact, that was the guy who sent him his notice saying that he was going to be that he was fired. So it just goes to show watch who you piss off. But Phil got too big for his britches. He got above his station, and he got smacked down. Curse was another example of, you're not making us any money. I'm sorry, you're not. You're not enough to where we feel the need to keep being in this situation with you. And then YouTube was already putting pressure on the MCNs to restructure anyway. So he was dead weight, and they cut him loose. And you saw how he tried to spin that story. Jesus Christ, the Machinima thing, how many months did it take him to finally come out and tell us the full story about that? Because he spent the majority of his time trying to spin that shit to make it seem like they were the bad guy and he did nothing wrong. At least that's what he did with Machinima. With Curse, he tried to make it seem like it was an amicable agreement, and it wasn't. They were like, hey, sorry, the circumstances have changed. You know what I mean? You're not producing. YouTube is all over our neck, or over our head, about how they want these new regulations for how MCNs are done, and you got to go. End of story. He's useless. He's useless. If he cannot be exploited, he's discarded. The same way I would assume that a lot of the businesses and or jobs that have treated him is how he treats his fan base. That's the reason why he's at where he's at now. You can tell. You can tell. And that's why he never wants to go back to getting a real job, because he always feels like they're just going to discard me once they're done with me. Yeah, they're going to. Because you're not willing to work hard. You're not willing to utilize yourself in such a way to make yourself valuable, to make yourself an asset. You know what I mean? You just keep putting yourself out there as a deficit. Any employer who saw Phil Burnell show up in their office could immediately size him up in a few minutes and realize he's all talk. He's all talk. And then put him out there in the field and see what happens. You think Phil's going to be able to go a week handling paperwork on a time schedule where you may have to work overtime? He may have to come in early. He's more than likely going to leave early. And then he still has to do work at home? Mr. I had such a stressful day. I need to relax. Why can't I just relax? No, that's not what it's like being an adult. Even adults that are better off or well off and that are ahead and on top of their shit, you still got stuff that you need to think about. You still got stuff that you need to do. I wouldn't say you should have to worry about it unless you're forced to, but that's just the part of it. You guys understand this, but he don't. He can't even manage video games, which is one of the reasons why I chose this segment. He can't even really get his video game schedule down. He can't even get this shit figured out. You think he's ready to go into... You think he's ready to go into a starting position anywhere? Outside of flipping burgers, pumping gas, pushing grocery carts? I mean, shit, maybe you could get him a managing position at a grocery store or something, or in retail. But anything else that would be, air quotes, affiliated with his business degree, he's stuck. He's stuck. He's too lazy, he's too stupid, and he's too out of touch. You could literally pluck any 21-year-old right out of college to do what Phil does, and they'll do it better. And they'll present themselves better. He has no prospects. That's why he depends on others so much. That's not a businessman. That's a bum. That's a bum. Jesus Christ. He been slaving for Twitch this long. Why didn't they offer him a contract? Why isn't he getting, I don't know, let's be generous and say he's getting a guaranteed $2,000 a month with Twitch. He's not doing that. Twitch doesn't have to pay him anything outside of what he's already making. And then they just split that with him. He's the bitch. They're the pimp. And that's how it's always been. Phil has never been his own man. He's never done what he need to do. He's always had to work through somebody. I.e., someone had worked his ass to the bone, collected the money, and say, you've been a good hoe. Here's your half. Go and get a shower. The next client's coming soon. And he went ahead and he scrounged up whatever money he did, and then he got ready to get back to work. He put himself out there to be a hoe. So that's how they treated him. So when Rich from Review Tech USA or Quartering or any of these people want to come through and do an interview with him, it's only for profit. And why should it? What does Phil Burnell have to tell any of you that is meaningful? He can't even admit to his own mistakes. He can't even admit to his own faults. What the fuck is he going to teach any of y'all? What kind of insight do you think you're going to pull out of him? The fact that anybody would think in the level of practicality that you could speak to Phil Burnell and learn anything is insane. It's amusing, but it's insane. Darkside Phil doesn't even understand the system doesn't understand the system, scratch that, the ecosystem that he's currently in. So what the fuck is he going to be able to explain to you about anything? He's a 38-year-old man that's waiting for his parents to die so he can go ahead and inherit what little he has left that he hasn't drained from them so he can continue his own existence. Not his own life, his own existence. What can he really offer any of you? Jesus Christ, what can he even offer himself? He begs all day.
Ugly Tuna Roll took me $1.30. Says, you ever play Dante's Inferno? I don't see it in your playthrough. So that's a funny story. I did play some of Dante's Inferno. The game definitely is a God of War ripoff. It plays just like God of War. Okay? But I started recording it for YouTube. And I couldn't upload it. This was at a time before I monetized my gameplay videos. And YouTube did not want me to upload it and kept giving me takedown strikes and stuff, basically stating that there's too much adult content. It was excessively gory. There was nudity in it. And there was a whole stage based on there's the 7 levels of hell or whatever it is, and one of them is lust. And the whole stage had basically boobs and dicks. And
you lost your goddamn mind, and what? You were obsessing over the girth? It's cool, dude. It's alright. I mean, like Panda already told us you couldn't get it up anyway. After you moved out of Connecticut and went to Washington, so, I mean, it is what it is. Hey, Phil, one day, I'm being serious now. I'm being serious. Phil, one day you're going to have to come out. It's going to be alright, buddy. No one's going to judge you. No one's going to have a problem with it. If nothing else, an asshole like me is just going to be like, why didn't you say something sooner? Only so long fake thugs can pretend. That's all. At the end of the day. But at the end, and to even further that point, yet again, I'm trying not to be a dick. Don't take that literally, Phil. At the end of the day, you have to be happy with you. You're too busy worrying about what other fucking people think. Go ahead. You sitting, all you doing is running the clock on Cat. That ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? She should be with someone who legitimately wants to have children if she does want to have children. Not stuck with some failure piece of shit like you. You never thought about that? That don't make you feel bad? Yeah, you told us that you guys don't want to have kids, but when I think of you saying that shit, I'm clearly just thinking that that's what you're saying. That's not exactly what her body language said. So if this chick actually has prospects of wanting to have kids, all you're doing is running her clock down. And that's not cool. Or running her clock up, which is still not cool. Just because you feel like your family or your parents failed you doesn't mean you should push that weight onto her and let her deal with that. That's not cool. She don't deserve that. And if you're using her as a shield or window dressing or whatever, that's not cool either. Something to think about. Just real talk type situation. I'm not accusing you of being anything upon anything because I can't accuse you for how you feel. If that's what you feel, and if that's what you want, or if that's what you're lusting for, or whatever, that's you, and that's cool. But don't do that at the expense of other people, especially like that. You want to go ahead and run these kids and these wheelchair symbols and these disabled people out of their money and these fake prospects that you give a fuck about them and all that. All that's already egregious, disgusting, and I'll see you in hell for that. But definitely don't run that young lady's clock up for no fucking reason. Don't do that. Don't do that.
YouTube didn't want that back then. Now today, if I were to play Dante's Inferno, likely I could do a playthrough on YouTube, but I would have to flag the entire thing as adult only or 18 plus, and likely it would be flagged for not suitable for advertisers, and therefore I would make no money.
You would have to do that anyway because you would have to do that anyway, theoretically, because your content isn't for children, aren't for children. So automatically by use, and I know Phil knows what I'm talking about. Anybody uploads videos, you know what I'm talking about. If you click that your videos aren't for children, it's automatically cuts everybody out from 13 up to like 18 or whatever the case may be, or 17, whatever. Yeah, that demographic's automatically cut out. Automatically off the rip. I think what he's talking about is age restricted, which, to be honest, he probably should do that for most of his stuff anyway, because it's been known that people do that to try to avoid some forms of copyright. But it doesn't necessarily work. I don't know why people thought it would, but I mean, tomato, tomato. But either which way, you should have, I mean, your content's not for children anyway, right, Phil? You're not a children's entertainer. So, remember, you hate kids. So yeah, that shouldn't even be a thing. What do you care? Like I said, it's just an archive. Remember? YouTube, just an archive. Not a big deal. It's a place that I leave for my long-standing fans and supporters. It's fan service. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like he forgets that.
YouTube videos. They would probably still let me upload them, but they wouldn't let me put any advertisements on them. Back then, they wouldn't even let me upload them. I wasn't putting advertisements on my video, and YouTube just shut down the playthrough and wouldn't let me do it. Okay? God, whatever this is in my eye, it's really bothering me. I'm assuming it's a hair, because it's really bothering me. I have to go to the bathroom and take a look at it. Fruits07 cheered and said, to see 4K resolution at any benefit, you need to sit close to your TV and monitor. I mean, not like far away. That's what it seems to me. I have glasses too. Likely you're right, Fruits. I mean, I don't know. This TV is 4K. I've never used it 4K. So I wouldn't know visually the difference between 4K or 1080p unless I saw it side by side. But I'm okay. Like, the graphics today blow me away. I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima, I'm like, dude, these are the best graphics I've ever seen. They're insanely outstanding. The beautiful vistas, the contrast of color, the all of the foliage looks amazingly realistic. And I'm like, dude, these graphics are so outstanding. I don't care if they were in 4K. They're gorgeous at 1080p. You know what I mean? Lunaba to me $4, and he says, congrats on a 200 vest streak. I was playing a certain stabby sword game and lost track of time. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but welcome to the stream, Lunaba. So guys, all right, here's the deal. We have two options I would like to open the stream up to. All right? We have two options. The first is I could go get Jasper. Well, first of all, I'm going to mess with my eye because my eye's bothering me. I'm going to see what's in it. I could go get Jasper, bring him in here, and we can play with him for a bit. You know, get a cat toy. He'll jump around the couch like he has the past two vest celebrations. Or we could do a second DSP tries it. What it's going to be would be the Frosty Chino from Wendy's. I have not tried this at all. I'm interested in it. And I could just run. The Wendy's is right next door. It would be 10 minutes. I would just drive to Wendy's quick, grab it, come back. Okay, maybe 15. But it's right there. I could get it right quick and come back. And we could do a second DSP tries it on the Frosty Chino. Okay? So those would be the options. Would you guys like to see a second DSP tries it, or would you like to see Jasper? What would be next? What would you like to do? All right, a couple votes for Jasper. DSP tries it. DSP tries it. DSP tries it. Jasper. Wendy's, Jasper. The cat. Jasper. Wendy's, Jasper. Wendy's, Jasper. Wendy's, Jasper. Seems to be split. Seems you guys are split. Eternal Napalm just cheered and said, are you prepared? Is your soul ready for bug snacks? Dude, I was born ready for bug snacks. I can't wait. It's going to change my life in a very good way, I'm sure. So people can't decide. It seems like there's a pretty good split. All right, how about this? Let's take a break. If it's a short break, I'll bring Jasper in here. If it's a longer break, like 15 minutes, I'll go to Wendy's. We'll see. But I got to clear this eye up. My eye is killing me right now. I don't know what this hair is, but I got to figure this out. All right. And then we'll finish this up. Like I said, I may go a little late on the stream. I don't have to end at 4. I can maybe go a little later. But not too much later. Maybe 4:30-ish. Depending. And again, if we do double the tips goal by the end of the stream, I will have a special reveal for you guys. But if we don't hit it, I guess we'll save it for the next vest celebration. Okay? We'll see. All right. Thank you, Fly Eagles Fly. Did 100% to do a poll. There's a poll running right now. There's a poll running right now you guys can vote on. Okay. Let's take a brief break. I'll be back.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go ahead and straighten up and whatnot. Give you guys final thoughts. And I'll let you guys go, to be honest. Wow. Jasper went from being $2,100 to being reduced to the price of a frozen drink at Wendy's. Jesus Christ, Jasper. Don't worry. Myself and the DIA will pull you out. You've been a good agent. You fought the good fight. So we'll get you out of there sooner than later. Jesus Christ, I feel like you're being wasted over there. All right, guys, we'll see you in just a second. Holy shit, Jasper, now. So, alright, went at Phil kind of hard there, but whatever. He deserves what he gets. Theoretically, he got hit with it light. So, Vest Celebration 3.0 Part 2, game schedule and updates for the rest of the year. His game schedule is kind of garbage, to be honest with you. Some of that shit's going to be sleeper. Some of that shit's going to get reduced to chill streams. I'll be surprised if he legit finishes all of them. If none of them get thrown on the back burner at all. I'll be really surprised by that. But most of that stuff is going to be chill stream. Easily. A lot of that shit's going to be chill stream, to be honest. WWE is definitely going over there. I was gonna say Outer Worlds, but we'll see. He might actually play that all the way through. Walking Simulator might end up being chill stream. We'll have to wait and see. It's like, we'll have to wait and see, but we'll see how that plays out. As it pertains to the consoles, I talked about that in part 1. To be honest, he's going to him getting the new consoles legit ride on the fact that if they keep up the sub goal, or they keep up the tips goal, the vest goal, sorry, the vest goal, and even then he's still playing it into position to have someone will either pre-order it, or someone will pre-order it for him and send it to him, or someone will send him the money directly so he can send Cat out to go and get it day one, or him and Cat can go and get it day one of the two. So he's already got like Snort, he already has like kind of the Snortopia box open for that shit. So he's not going anywhere with that in particular. I find that the biggest sleeper out of all of this for me anyway was him talking about the vest goal. And literally it's kind of guilt tripping, but it's certainly a lot of manipulation, at least the way I saw it, on how much he's got riding on it, and how much blame he's gonna put on them if it fails. So like I said, I'm not sure if you guys are gonna agree with all my points on that. You don't have to. That's what I took from it, to be honest. Mainly that's the main thing. And to be honest with you, and this is my final point, I should say, is that most of those games, not all of them, but most of those games, most of those games are going to be donated to him, or are going to be given to him through influencer copies or review copies. And who knows how much of that is he going to disclose or not. Also, most of that's probably going to get Amazon wish listed, or some of that stuff is going to be game codes that will be sent to him by people in the cult or in his fan base or whatever directly. He's not even going to pay for most of those games. I can almost guarantee that. I can almost guarantee he won't have to pay for most of those games. Those games will be sent to him. So make of that what you will. But I definitely expect at least a few of those games, maybe only 2 or 3, maybe 3 or 4, will be probably given to him. Hey, Phil, would you be interested in an influencer copy or whatever? And then there you go. And if he does if that ends up being a thing, he might actually do the review, not the edited review, but like a 20-minute review after the game's over to speak on it. He might. Keep in mind, just make of that what you will. We'll have to wait and see on it. But that's what I took from that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. Only got 2 more things left. Got the pre-stream from the 25th and the 26th. Apparently there was a whole lot of fallout. So we're gonna do those 2, and then that's it. We're done. Then we go back to double episodes of the Snort Report each day that they're uploaded. And like I said, I got that new series that we're still working on, and then getting back to the second channel because I gotta get shit started over there before the holidays come up. So that's a thing in itself. But yeah. So like I said, the content will keep flowing for as long as we can all keep it up, essentially, and whatnot. And if a break comes about eventually, you guys will know about it because you guys will be able to tell. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys for the next one of these whenever that may be, hopefully sooner than later. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the pseudo Snort Report, and this is DSP News, always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG networking production. For the pseudo Snort Report and Hard Snort's Gin and Tonic, that toxic flavor that never waver. I've been your host / anchor GTG, and I'm signing off. Take care of yourselves, guys. End the broadcast. Oh my god. And one more thing, real fast. And I mean this shit too when I say it. As it pertains to any of you Phil fanboys out there and shit, legit, talk to him. Because if he's sitting there just trying to run the clock down on Cat, or run the clock up on Cat, and so on and so forth, is really fucked up. Like, if that chick really does want to have kids, and so on and so forth, he can't sit there and keep leading her around like he led around Panda in the belief that they were actually going to get married. Because he was never going to marry Panda, sorry. My bad. He was never going to marry Panda. I swear to you, he was never going to marry her. Ever. He was never going to do that shit. Now, despite what he said about, oh, me and Kat talked about not wanting to have children, her body response was completely different. And she kept quiet for whatever reason. So, he needs to wake that shit up, because he's really fucking with somebody else's life. It's bad enough that he's already fucking with y'all lives, but he's really screwing up her life too. Or he's really playing a game with her that really can affect her later on down the line. That's all I'm saying. That should be at least something that should be brought to his attention. But that's just my opinion. I'm just a fucking brain dead detractor. What do I know? Later.